You don't feel like yourself anymore, and you're not sure how and when that started. Maybe you feel out of control, sluggish, frustrated. Maybe you feel like you're going around in circles and you just don't really know what the root cause is. Well, in today's episode, I want to chat to you about 3 shifts that you can make today or over the next couple of weeks that may help unlock the thing that is keeping you stuck. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to shift a few things that may be going on in the background that aren't working for yourself. I remember up until a couple of years ago, just feeling absolutely desperate. And I know I've shared so many photos with you guys on my Instagram page. So you can see when I talk about being overweight, having red and puffy skin, feeling really bloated, uncomfortable in my clothes, having really poor mental health, feeling really anxious, my thoughts being really loud and noisy all the time from the moment I would wake up. Waking up in the morning and feeling really, really anxious for the day ahead, and that anxiety never really leaving me. Sitting on the couch at night time, dreading the idea of going to bed, because that would mean I'd have to wake up and do it all over again. I remember one of the hardest things about that period was not being able to become unstuck. Trying to do workouts, trying to eat healthy, trying to lose weight, trying to get fit, drinking so much at the weekends, bottles and bottles of wine, eating too much at the weekends, coming home during the week and just having massive dinners and sitting on the couch and having food and just never really getting anywhere, never really breaking that next level, never getting to the next level, never breaking that ceiling. A feeling that I kind of was beginning to think, this is it. This is kind of me. I'm going to be always trying to get in workouts and always feeling really unhealthy. I'm never really going to push past that. And I just got to this horrible place where I didn't feel like me anymore. It's amazing what poor body image will do for you. Like when your clothes are really tight and your skin is red and puffy and you just don't feel like yourself anymore. It has such a horrible knock-on effect on everything you do. You think about it morning, noon and night, and you can pretend to yourself that you're not, but you're noticing it when you're in the shower, when you're putting your clothes on, when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. Thankfully, all those days are behind me now, but I love to talk about them. I never want to forget how bad I felt, because it's important that we chat about it and that we normalize it, and just that we know that you can get out of it, that there is hope, that you keep going, that you'll have a breakthrough and you'll get back to feeling like yourself again if you keep going. Now, what the problem really is, what happens with most women when they feel like this is that they try to fix this problem by doing more. So more rules, more restrictions, more dieting, more pressure, and that only really makes things 10 times worse. So I was stuck in that phase for a long time. Okay, right, I'm going to super restrict. Or, okay, right, I'm going to only drink alcohol on a Friday and Saturday. And then I just go absolutely bananas. Like I remember feeling so bad on my clothes. I was going through a phase where I was working out consistently. And I said, I know, I'm just going to add in like 3 5K runs on top of my workouts. When you're in this place, you're always kind of chasing something. You're never really looking for just small shifts inside of you. So we kind of end up going from like doing more, then looking for more, then doing the wrong things and like wondering why we're not feeling good. So I started paying attention to what actually helped me feel like me again. Like not just on the surface, but deeper in my mind, in my life, in my everyday life. Like what was going to make me feel calm, feel energized, feel present with my family. And you know what, just like everything else, they're small shifts, but they're really, really powerful shifts. So in this episode, I'm sharing with you 3 of the biggest shifts that helped me and now help the women I coach come back to themselves and feel grounded again. Well, number 1 is shifting from self-criticism to support. Now, this is a big one. Do you beat yourself up? Are you constantly giving out to yourself? Can you imagine like the small, younger version of you? Like imagine yourself now 7 or 8, or maybe you have a kid that age or a grandkid. And can you imagine standing on the sidelines and just jogging beside them and telling them all the things you tell yourself? Like, that's typical of you to do that. I knew you were going to do that. You always do that. Why can you never get this right? Here you go again, back at square one. What chance would you give that kid of succeeding in anything in their life? And yet this is what we do to ourselves on a daily basis. But we think that it's not really that damaging because it's us that's telling ourselves that. It's not like this scary outside person. If it was a family member or you were living with somebody like that, you know that you would be in serious trouble. You would know you would definitely have a problem. However, when it's you, it's so much more hidden. I just want you to know that motivation through hatred and motivation through self-loathing is never going to work. And if you want to feel like yourself again, and you want to get back to feeling good, and you want to start making your habits stick, the only way that's going to work is if you shift from the self-criticism to self-support, and to treat yourself with a kindness and a gentleness that maybe you don't even get from anybody else, like more kind and gentle than the person that loves you the most would treat you. And that starts off simply with how you hold your body, how you touch your body, toweling it nice and gently in the shower, spending time putting on your creams on your face. If you like bang into something or you trip, like saying to yourself, oh my God, you poor thing, are you okay? Like sit down there for a second. Like spending the day talking to yourself really, really kindly. The first way to start doing this is to notice, first of all, how you actually speak to yourself. I mean, God, I used to like jump in the shower, whack myself with the towel dry, like throw on cream, almost like I was slapping myself, running the brush really hard, like 4 times through my hair. Any opportunity I got through looking at a reflection on a window, just calling myself like fat and ugly and worthless, beating myself for how bad I am as a person, for the fact that I'm not smart or intelligent or that I can't do anything right, that I've nothing going for me, that I've no special skills. Like I would just spend my day in this self-loathing. I used to blush an awful lot. I still blush the odd time now. However, I'm okay with it. I used to blush an awful lot, and that came from this feeling of shame that I used to carry around with me the whole time. That is almost gone. I only get triggered every now and again. The reason I'm telling you this is because describing this to you now, for the first time ever, I have to actually really remind myself that I used to be like that. Because I even feel like when I started this podcast, even a couple of years ago, all these stories came to me so much more easily. And I'm beginning to almost, not forget, but it's been so long now, I've healed so much. What I'm trying to say to you is that if you want to feel like yourself again and you're feeling in a bad place, the foundational piece of that is to start speaking kindly to yourself and start supporting yourself. If you're on a journey where you want to eat better than you are now, let's say you are overweight or you're unfit and you want to get workouts, the truth is you're going to have unhealthy habits with nutrition until you aren't. But what happens with a lot of people is they decide they want to get healthy with their nutrition. They're really hard on themselves. They've got a really negative, loud inner critic. They're disgusted with themselves for not being able to do it right. And they're disgusted with themselves on the journey towards healthy eating. They're disgusted with themselves for setbacks and challenges. So if they're not careful, it's this disgust in themselves that brings them back to square one, not the habit, like not the want of trying, like not, like if you took the disgust in themselves away, they keep on going. So when you have that breakthrough, when you start to realize that what's holding you back actually isn't motivation, time, all this kind of stuff, and it's actually so much more deep than that, that actually one of them is that you're too hard on yourself, and that if you were a bit kinder to yourself, you'd be able to handle setbacks and challenges a bit more, therefore being able to break through and succeed. Boom, you would be on your way. So number one of the 3 shifts to get back to feeling like yourself again is to shift from self-criticism to self-support. Okay? Number 2, shift from reacting in your day-to-day to leading it. This is the next level. How do you lead your day? No more waking up and diving straight into chaos, but anchoring your day with structure, like with something we do in Thrive Academy called Thrive Time. Getting up in the morning, getting in your movement, your breath work, your affirmations, your gratitude, your journaling, getting it all done. Starting your day with intention, leading your day with calm, control, with groundness. From that place, you're able to make great decisions. You set your day with intention, you lead, you act, you don't react. You're the director of your life, not the manager of your life. You sit down at your desktop, at your laptop, in work meetings, and you have taken care of your body and your mind. You're showing up as your best self. This is how we are going to shape you to becoming fit and healthy and fit and centered and calm and grounded. This is how we're going to do this. We're going to shape your morning. Therefore, you're going to shape yourself for the day. You're going to put your best foot forward. I used to get up in the morning time, snooze on the alarm, race out of bed, call the kids to get up, jump in the shower, get dressed, have a coffee, make the kids breakfast, run out the door. That was my morning. And I used to make this joke that anything with a 6 in it in the morning time, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I even remember in COVID when I started doing like Zoom online classes and I had to show up at a certain time in the morning time. It was really, really horrific. Like it was only 6:30 a.m. but I felt like it was 3 a.m. It was horrible. And then of course I realized that that's just a habit that you want to get used to. So if you want to start getting up at 6 a.m., you've got to start getting up. If you're getting up at 8 a.m. or 7:30 now, you've got to start getting up at 7 a.m. And then you've got to bring it to 6:45 and then 6:30 and then 6:15 and then 6. And this is what I've spent the past 2 years doing. So now I am up at 6 a.m. and I do my Thrive Time. I get my workout done and my mind practices done, and then I'm done. And if you meet me in the daytime, you are meeting the best version of me. You're not meeting the person that stepped into the day in chaos. You're meeting somebody that intentionally spent their morning getting themselves into this really great place. So you're going to bring that great energy into your day. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to, like a side effect, you're going to become fit. You're going to have strong bones, increased metabolism. Like, not only are you doing all those really cool things, but you're going to set yourself up well for yourself. If you want more for yourself, if you feel like you're living in chaos now, these things are options for you. However, you just have to get past the barrier of it feeling like shit for a few weeks, because it is going to feel like shit for a few weeks, because you're not going to want to get up in the morning time to do this. But who does? And this is the thing. I just feel like we don't chat about how shit it is to get up in the morning sometimes. I used to see all these people on Instagram and think, well, I'm not like them. I cannot relate to these people. Therefore, I'm not going to do what they tell me to do. But actually, It's just that they're making it out like you spring out of bed, you're absolutely flying it, you're like, where are my weights? I can't wait to get stuck in. And that's just not true. I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, oh my God, shoot me. But I go and do the thing and I feel amazing afterwards. Number 3 is to shift from all or nothing to always something. Like, stop quitting because it's not perfect. Stop quitting because you're doing too much. Start showing up imperfectly and consistently, and this is where the magic happens. I feel like I've spent the last few podcast episodes chatting about all or nothing a lot. However, I would say it's up there with stress and overwhelm with what keeps people held back from getting where they want to be. It is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, this all or nothing mindset, this getting stuck into something, going so at it that you just couldn't keep it up. And it's not fitting into your lifestyle, but you've just made it work because you're so desperate for change and you think this is the way to change. And you think anything less than that is pointless. I know this so well because this was me. Just everything is all or nothing with me. Like drinking alcohol, like dinners, like the amount of food I couldn't even tell you that I have put myself off because I've done the dog on it. Like, and I know this kind of all or nothing but a food thing, but like mulled wine, I just feel like vomiting when I look at that stuff now. Hot cross buns I couldn't eat for a long time. Mince pies couldn't eat for a long time. Like all these things that I have OD'd on and made myself so sick of is not even funny. And I've brought that extreme into my life too. Like doing a crazy amount of workouts and then not working out at all. Not eating any carbohydrate and then gaining loads of weight from eating way too much carbs. Anything in my life, I've done it way too much and then absolutely done nothing at all. So the struggle for me still, the talking to I have to give myself on a daily basis is, where is this nice balance? Where is this nice middle ground where I can do something, and something is better than nothing? I have struggled so much with this podcast, showing up to this podcast, because the idea in my head of what I want each episode to be, for me, feels way different to what the actual episode is. However, this episode is my best. So therefore, I have to do it as this. This is it. The alternative for me is to not do it, or to spend 3 times the amount of time on it, which is what I used to do. But then I wouldn't want to do it at all because it would take up too much time and other things would slip. So we all do it. We all do this all or nothing thing. It's just really sneaky and we don't really notice ourselves doing it. So I really recommend you take a good hard look at your habits, and on your good weeks, for example. I hate to call it that, but just to help you understand it a bit better. Like on your weeks that you feel that you do really well, does it need to be pared back a little bit so that you don't just do it well for 2 weeks and then nothing for 1 week? That the all part of the all or nothing is a little bit less, and the nothing part of the all or nothing is a little bit more. And what is it that you can do to just keep on going? The truth is that it's consistency that gets you results. That really unsexy, boring word, consistency. It's not a new diet plan, a new secret fad that comes in. It's deciding that you want to get fit and healthy, and coming up with a plan that you know works, and working on it and doing something instead of nothing, shifting from all or nothing to always something. And when women make these shifts, when my clients make these shifts in Thrive Academy, things start to unlock for them. Things start to just get a little bit easier for them. They stop obsessing over food, they get organized, they get strong, healthy, they feel clear, and most importantly, they feel like themselves again. So remember, this isn't about like becoming a different person or having a massive overhaul. It's about coming back to who you already are underneath the overwhelm. Because when you feel calm and centered and strong, you show up for life in a completely different way, and everything around you starts to shift too. Life just starts to become so much more simple. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you just got one thing from this episode to help you become unstuck and move forward. If you need a kickstart, you can grab my free 5-day Thrive Challenge at jessicacooke.ie/challenge. That's jessicacooke.ie/challenge. If you loved this podcast, please rate it wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for tuning in. All my love. Take care and bye for now.